Monday, June 5th. I'm out here. I'm following up on collecting these Japanese beetles. Some of the things that help us, and we know that they don't fly when they still do and cooler in the day. So they're not flying yet. They're getting ready to though because it's pretty dry today. But what they do is they generally roll off when they're disturbed. And they're going to roll and bounce on the outside of the leaves because they roll and hit and bounce and bounce and bounce. So you want to keep your bucket on the outside of the leaves. And when you touch it, they all fall in the bucket. So we use the temperature to our advantage. We take the fact that they drop to our advantage and that they roll and bounce off the foliage on the way down. We take advantage of all of that, and we can capture as many as possible. You want to do it before it's warm because they'll just fly off. Right now, we can still catch them. I'm going to show you what I get out of the garden, and I don't spend a lot of time trying to get every single thing. I just go for as many as I can as quickly as I can. If some hit the ground, at least I've interrupted their feeding and their mating for a moment. And maybe some predators will get them on the ground. So it's very frustrating, but if you're going to do organically, what are you going to do? Neem oil works, but you probably have to spray it every day to keep these things off. It's just like, how much work is that? How much expense is that? Who's got the time for that? These plants will recover generally. This is why I don't prune I don't do much training on my grapes because I just stir all the foliage is going to get eaten anyway. So I want to have as much foliage on there as possible, feeding the grapes as long as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and collect. It'll probably take me about 15 minutes, and then I'll show you what I do with it. It's barely 8:30. I've waited too long. You can see that they're just flying back out of the bucket. So I have waited too long for today. So I'm just going to try again tomorrow. But see, they're not rolling, they're flying. So it's kind of too late. Usually they would drop. So we have lost our opportunity. I was weed eating this morning, not thinking about beetles early. So it's like the first thing you do, you get out here when it's still wet. Still dew covered. If it's going to be a really dry day, you're going to have a hard time even really early. If you have a late dew hanging on, then you have a little more time. So just adjust accordingly. So I've missed a whole pound of beetles for my birds this morning. And another day of destruction to my grapes, mostly. So, oh well. I'll get back with you later. So I'm out here working in the garden before it gets too terribly hot. We have mid-90s today. These beds have been definitely neglected. We've had finally some decent rainfall. So that's what I did. This is where I'm going this way. What I want you to see is Lambsquarter, bare hands. I'm just plucking the tops off, that's the good food part. At this point in the game, you don't want them going to seed, so I'm getting them now. This is Amaranth, a little bit rougher, and it's always bug eaten. #1 most healthy green you can eat, better than kale or anything like that. So that's pigweed, they call it, red root amaranth. Other names, if you have it, make sure you can identify it. There's some stuff that kind of looks like it, but you see this little called male finger. That's a definite indication of amaranth. There's different kinds, but this is one of the best for eating. You want to cook it though, it's not really very good raw. The Lambsquarter you can put in smoothie. And when you pick it tall up here, it's easy to pick it clean. Down lower it gets dirt on it and stuff because of that fuzzy white stuff. So I'm going to harvest all the tops off of this Lambsquarter, and then I'm going to snap it off at the ground. That way it doesn't go to seed on me before I'm back through here. So I'll show you a picture of this when I'm done. I'll show you a picture of how much. But this is definitely a warm weather green, and you don't have to garden it. You just come out and pick it. So it's good stuff, but you don't want to go into seed. See over here, those taller amaranth, those suckers are getting ready to drop seed. You don't want that. So I'm out here. I'm going to try to clean these beds up. It's going to take me a couple days because I don't want to spend a lot of time. So And I'm going to also try to get that coriander seed out of there. Got quite a bit of that. Down underneath all of it, hopefully some carrots. That's about all that. A few pieces of broccoli popped up, but it's obviously the wrong season. I'll see if it goes to seed. I'll show you when I'm done here.